Hello, boys and girls. I am a lightning bug, and I'm sure you've seen me light the night on several summer evenings. Our light organs, called lanterns, are located in our transparent or see-through abdomens. When humans first discovered us lighting up the forest, they were amazed by how much light we produced. In China and Japan, people collected us in transparent jars and used us to find their way in the dark. They named us fireflies. But we are not flies at all, and our light, unlike fire, is cold. Cold light is the way our ancestors explained our magical light. Scientists now know that the chemical reactions create the light, and they describe this process with a word called bioluminescence. Say bioluminescence. Good job. Like all insects, we have three body parts: a head, a thorax, and an abdomen, 6 legs, 2 antennae, and an exoskeleton, and like most insects, 2 pairs of wings. We undergo a complete metamorphosis, changing from egg to pupa to adult. Some of our eggs and larvae even glow. Have you ever heard of a glowworm before? Glowworms are misnamed. They are not worms at all. The larvae of fireflies and other insects are called glowworms because they live on the ground like worms do and they glow in the dark. In order for any animal to survive, they must reproduce or have babies. That means we must all work together hard to attract mates. Fireflies glow when they seek out mates. The male flies to the dark, flashing a very specific signal to females who sit patiently and wait for them. Our yellowish green lights stand out against the night sky as we signal each other with special codes. When a female recognizes a male's code as being from the same species, she flashes the same code back to him, and the male lands beside her. I am a grasshopper. I'm not bioluminescent, but I do sing. That's why I want to talk to you today about how other insects communicate. Fireflies are silent communicators, flashing their glowing lights back and forth. How do you communicate? You talk, don't you? Although we insects have mouths for eating, just like you, we have no vocal cords or voice boxes, so we don't use them to talk or sing. Even so, we grasshoppers can be a bit noisy sometimes. Have you ever heard a grasshopper sing on a summer day? You won't hear any words, but you will definitely hear a chorus of sounds. Just like birds, each grasshopper produces a different song. If you listen closely, you can tell what a grasshopper is just by listening to what kind of song it sings. Nearly all grasshoppers have 2 pairs of wings, but we seldom use them for flying because we spend so much of our low lives to the ground. We spend so much of our time lives low to the ground. Male grasshoppers use their wings for communicating with one another. Male grasshoppers do not sing, but they listen very carefully. They hear our sounds with tympanum, eardrums on the side of their abdomens. Grasshoppers, locusts, crickets all make sounds by rubbing their body parts together. Sometimes 2 wings, sometimes a leg and a wing. To make the sounds, I lift my wing and rub the front wings together. The vein composed of many tiny teeth on the bottom of one wing rub against the sharp edge or scraper on the top of another wing. It is a little like rubbing your fingers along a comb. As the 2 parts rub together, the wings vibrate, moving back and forth rapidly to produce the sounds you hear. You may be familiar with my cousin, the katydid. Katydids have long antennae just like me. As they rub their front wings together, it sounds like they are calling out, "Katydid, katydid." Their high-pitched calls become faster and faster as the outside temperature rises. Some people even say that you can tell how hot it is by the number of times per second a katydid chirps. If katydids live in your part of the world and you are patient enough, you may want to try counting the number of chirps you hear every 5 seconds. Add 39 to that number and you may have an accurate reading of the temperature, depending on the species of katydid you're hearing. In some Asian countries, in a tradition that has been practiced for thousands of years, male crickets have been kept in cages as singing pets. Do you know where the ear of a cricket are located? You may remember that female grasshoppers here with special parts on their abdomens, but crickets have ears on their forelegs. Both places seem a little strange to you since your ear is on the top of your head. And before I leave today, I want to introduce you to another singing insect. These insects are often mistaken for grasshoppers and crickets because they look a lot like us. Does anybody remember what this insect is called? Yep, that's right. It's called a cicada. Cicadas are related to aphids, leafhoppers, and spittlebugs. Unlike grasshoppers and crickets, many cicadas have strong wings and are fast flyers. Male cicadas produce incredibly loud sounds, but they do not use their legs and wings to make those sounds. Look closely at the abdomen of this cicada. On its underside, close to the thorax, a cicada has a pair of sound-producing organs called tymbals. These ribbed membranes are a little like the skin of a drum. The cicada uses its muscle to vibrate these drum-like organs. The tymbals pop and click as they move in and out. Their sound is amplified, or made louder, inside the mostly hollow abdomen, acting like a drum and creating a loud buzzing song. The shrill sounds of hundreds of thousands of cicadas singing together on a warm summer evening may be very, very loud. Grasshoppers, crickets, cicadas all use sounds to communicate in much the same way fireflies use their lights. Males attract females for the purpose of mating, making sure that these winged insects will continue to survive. Next time you gather to discuss insects, we'll learn about the largest group of insects on Earth. Can anybody guess what that might be? As always, if you have any questions, please contact me, Ms. Benson, or Ms. Madison. Thank you.